Good afternoon. A little out of breath. This is Steve Lowry, the editor of the High Low. Uh, a lot of stuff happens behind the scenes here before we bring these things that look so effortless. This one was especially crazy. We had a few things happen technically and with people's schedules. So we did a little quick audible for you sports fans, and we ended up with the one, the only Tim Grobaty, ladies and gentlemen, is with
Well,
us
that's
today.
good.
Timmy, how you doing?
Good. I'm glad I could patch the holes.
Yes, we appreciate you being at the bottom of the barrel. We really, really like that. We're going to talk with Tim, and we would love you to participate about his 74 days at home, about about the Quarantine Chronicles, his wildly popular column that has had him slowly descending into madness. Which being a big lover of Heart of Darkness, I've enjoyed this kind of just incremental
Right.
craziness you get in. And more recently, Timmy has taken upon himself to improve himself. Just yesterday, you were experimenting with cannabis, probably for the first time, I
Yeah.
imagine.
Well, it more uh, exactly. It's other people have taken it upon themselves to make me learn stuff. Um, this wasn't my idea, but I've become kind of a Renaissance man of sorts. I think those are your words, not mine.
Do you find it unusual, this kind of thing? It's occurred kind of in the last week where we've basically been pushed by the managing editor, Melissa Evans, to give you tasks or ways of improvement. It'd be interesting to me that here you are, kind of the elder statesman, and yet people really think that there is a lot of room for improvement here.
Oh God, yes, yes. I've only done one thing my whole life. Now I'm doing like two a day.
So far, what's been your favorite act of improvement?
Um, I think maybe Kelly Puente teaching me how to make tiki drinks here at the
Yeah.
bar. I have some of the ingredients back here.
Mm.
Um, so that was kind of fun. She came over and we just my daughter was here and we just made crazy rum drinks.
Kelly is anyone who knows Kelly knows two things. She is an outstanding reporter. And two, she knows Tiki, all about Tiki,
Oh, yeah,
culture of Tiki. And when she was over your place, she was all tikied out and stuff like that.
yes.
It is not just a subject with her, it is a lifestyle.
No, and she brought some of her tiki mugs over. She's paid as much as $200 for those things,
Oh
and
wow.
I broke that one. So
Okay, now what's been your least favorite activity so far?
oh Lord, I mean most of them have been probably painting by numbers. Hard as that is to believe.
That's hanging on the refrigerator here, by the way.
Yeah, well, I made it beautiful because I stopped using the numbers, um, and it went a lot faster, and I think it turned out really, really well.
I have to admit, I really like it. It's got kind of a Leroy Neiman thing going on.
That's exactly what I was going for. Yeah.
I don't know if the kids know who Leroy Neiman is anytime, but yeah, it really is lovely. Timmy, so by the way, if I haven't said before, you're more than welcome not only to ask Tim questions about being at home, quarantine chronicles, whatever, but basically anything you've ever wanted to ask Tim. Well, here's your shot. You got a half hour right now to ask Tim Grobaty anything. Timmy, how long have you been covering Long Beach? How long have you been a journalist here in town?
I think at least 43 years. I think I'm in
Damn.
the 43rd or 44th year now. It was 42 before I came to the Post, so
Mm.
44 then.
I imagine when you started, like the beach wasn't even that long. It was like a medium beach back
Yeah,
then.
yeah,
Yeah. It was like,
yeah.
oh, it's a decent beach.
People didn't get the sarcasm when the long thing was like calling somebody slim, when they're fat. Um,
I would argue the beach is even
right,
got a bit of sun.
a little hyperbole there too.
Ah, look at that. Yeah, it's a beach. Um, wh- when you were first dispatched home, when the rules came in, you had to go home. Were you looking forward to this?
Yeah, but I didn't think it was going to be this long. I um, I remember when the governor made the edict about people 65 and over, which is right where I'm at,
Yeah.
65. Um, So I guess once you're 65, you're over 65. But I told Melissa, I just kind of said, it looks like I'm going to be writing the Quarantine Chronicles. I just said that, and
Right.
that sounds like a good idea. So, I didn't think it all the way through. I mean, I have to write it every day, uh,
I know.
weekends, holidays.
They really ride you hard, man.
They do, and I think it's probably illegal. I think I have
Oh, totally. Yeah.
action. Yeah.
I know. I thought they'd give you maybe a weekend off or something like that, but no, they are just whipping that horse. Let's go.
It's cruel.
Do you ever think that you're like creating something that is it's wildly successful, it's fun to read, that you've like dug a hole for yourself that you will never get out of, Tim?
Yeah, I mean, they talk about things like, well, especially the 65 and older thing. Well, hell, that may be going on for, years or whatever. And Steve, I'm not getting any younger, so I'm not going to get into that pre 65-year-old thing.
Right.
So take care of yourself, man. How old are you? 55?
That is so sweet of you. I will be 59 in
Ooh.
about 3 weeks. I'll be 59 years old. Yeah.
Well,
And then of course 60. How did you handle 60, by the way? It's weird. I don't 30 was not a big deal. 40 was not. 50 was a great party. 40 was a great party too. 60, I'm a little weird about it. How were you when you turned 60?
with all the ages where you start with a zero, the so-called milestone ages, no matter
Mm,
what they are, um, I don't really fret about it until I'm kind of into it. Like 63, you go, God, I'm in my 60s. I'm
yeah.
not 60.
Yeah.
There's a novelty for you. I'm 60. Oh man. Um, but after a while, when you know that you can't go back, you can just keep barreling on.
And I find it really helps to work here at the Post in particular, where the average age is about 14.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, and what's great about the young people here, they never bring it up to you or lord it over you or make jokes about it. Or in your case, just the other day, our friend Valerie Ogier compared you to an elderly woman.
and a dinosaur.
Yes, yes, which
Uh,
is why you were painting the dinosaur.
right.
She got it for you, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I find that's very nice of the young people here.
Well, yeah, they're thoughtful, and I learn a lot from them.
Yeah,
Nothing
yeah.
useful.
I have a feeling one day we're going to come here and there'll be like an ice flow, and they'll just you and me, and then they'll just push it off. And
That'll be a lovely day. Yeah, today I'm supposed to be learning coding, so that's kind of difficult.
what, like computer coding?
Yes.
Oh, sheesh. That sounds
A
like
lot
a
of
lot
these
of fun.
things, well, a lot of these things, it's just one day. It's like, okay, here today, learn Spanish. Today, learn coding. And today, bake something for the first time in your life.
What's
Uh,
it been like at the house? Like, what's a normal day for you? Like, what time do you get up? What do you do?
I get up when I good and feel like it, Steve.
Nice.
Yeah, usually when the sun breaks through, gets a little too bright in the bedroom, I probably get up around 8.
Okay.
We have our 10 o'clock Zoom meeting,
That's right.
and um, how are the calls coming, by the way? Are they backing up?
Uh, not as yet. And by the way, again, you can ask a question of this dude. He's ready to talk.
Can't
Come
come on.
on. Come at him. I can't be the only one giving him crap. Come on, people. Let's go. Anyways, so you get up,
Yeah.
do that Zoom, and that's the last time I see you. I see you on our daily Zoom call.
Yeah.
Half the time I think you've fallen asleep when I'm watching you in that.
I'm always laying in the,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I can't figure out if you're just deep in thought or asleep. And then after that, do you jump into the Chronicles?
Yeah. Yeah. I jump into the Chronicles, do my little project for the day for a few hours,
Right.
type something up.
And for those Chronicles, like things will actually show up at your house, right?
Yeah, that's the best part. Things show up on your porch. I- uh, Stephanie brought over a bag of dope yesterday, so that was nice.
That's right. Yeah, Steph's great with that.
Stack of
Good,
weed.
good job on the dope, Steph. And what, what was
And
that
yeah,
like
they
yesterday?
leave it on the porch. So then, a few days. Oh, it's kind
Yeah,
of weird. It's kind of weird.
you've you've had I think someone dropped by a tent.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I'm used to people dropping stuff off at the porch out of abundance of caution, just to
Yeah,
leave it on the porch. And so one day there was a tent on the porch. I said, all right, somebody wants me to do something with this tent. There was no instructions. And I asked everyone at the office, hey, did you guys leave a tent over at my house? And nobody would cop to it.
Right.
And so Hannah, my daughter, and I took it in the backyard and tried to erect the tent, and
Okay.
found out it was broken. And we took a couple trips to Ace to get spare tent parts.
Right.
And finally, like with 90% of these projects, I gave up, just threw it in a pile and said, and we were having cocktails. My wife and I were having cocktails, and somebody came to the front door and said, hey, did somebody leave a tent here? And it turned out that it was just a coincidence. They thought somebody could fix this tent, and they left it on my porch instead of their porch. Had the address wrong.
What?
It was a very nice couple. They were young, and they had a little baby in a stroller. And I gave them the tent back and the spare parts that I bought. Didn't charge them a nickel for any of those. And
You're a great man.
I know.
Who fixes a tent? Don't you just go buy a new
I
tent?
know, and it would cost $45 to fix. I think it needed some lathe work.
That's another thing. I've always wanted to lathe. It
I have,
just that looks like such, yes, craftsmanship. That looks always very elegant.
yeah.
You know, it's funny. I looked down at the clock here and I said it's 1:28, and I thought, oh, good, we got through this. And then I realized we started at 1:15. Like, damn, we only got through 13 minutes. But we're going to get to it with your help, ladies and gentlemen, with your help. Now, one of the reasons people have not sent questions, I just found out that Valerie, who called you an old woman and a dinosaur,
Mhm.
she was busy doing something else. So, see, we're like not quite
Oh
what
Lord.
you would call a priority. Okay, we're a little down
I'm,
that way.
and I'm a low priority here. Obviously, you went through 32 other people before you got to me, and now she's blown the whole thing off.
Hey, now you know what? I've done a live chat or two with a therapist who have told us that people who are stuck together, as you would absolutely expect, start to get on each other's nerves. I don't know anyone who wouldn't get on my nerves if I was around them for 2 hours, which is why I'm single. What is it like for you with your wife, your wonderful daughter? Has it, I mean, be honest, is there like a shining moment coming on? What do we got going on?
Um, I don't know. We kind of stay out of each other's hairs. We have more than one room in the house, which is nice. We got one of those
Nice.
big, sprawling 3-bedroom places.
Yeah.
So Jane kind of cowers in fear in the bedroom, watches TV, and I throw fits in the living room. With my
Nice.
computer. Yeah, and then we
What do
have
you what do you find sets you off these days? What really gets your goat?
well, just the idiots out there, the conspiracy theory people think this is all a bunch of hogwash, and
Right.
for any number of reasons it's happening, to create a new world order or to make
Right.
Bill Gates richer, or Jeff
Wants
Bezos,
to
or
put a microchip in you.
yeah,
Someone pointed out if he wanted to do that, he would just tap into your phone, which is readily available.
right.
He could, he could do that today, like right now. He already knows how to get to you. It's funny. The Quarantine Chronicles, for the most part, has been kind of lighthearted and fun. But you have written a couple times about this business of a new world order and stuff like that, and people have come back at you pretty hard. What again? This city. You've lived a long time. What do you think's going on that people have this in their mind that somehow an entire kind of pandemic could be some kind of conspiratorial plot?
A prank,
Yeah, 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 like a prank.
prank gone horribly wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's just a propensity to believe in conspiracies. It's an old thing. People like some kind of explanation. It's usually one that they themselves have discovered through their own ingenuity, digging around. If you look in the right places, you'll find the American Samoa bat quarter, which apparently had some kind of significance.
Right, right.
Um,
Although Timmy, I got to say, I have found as we have seen like different parts of Southern California where people are acting really silly and doing things they shouldn't do, particularly our neighbor to the south. I have found Long Beach, for the most part, completely laudable. I swear to God, I'm not saying this just because you guys basically pay my check. Long Beach, for the most part, has been very responsible, relatively like cool about like making sure everyone's doing the right thing, but you don't get it like too much like scolds or anything like that. The city itself, I find, is acting very grown up. Are you at all surprised how well Long Beach has responded to this thing?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty evident just, driving around or walking around on the odd chance that I get to do that. The streets are still relatively empty. Of course, it's taking a big toll on business, but
Yeah.
uh, so you just don't see people in shops. But I guess you're going to start seeing that more. I don't know if it's too early to start that again or not. I don't know. How hopeful are you about it?
Yeah. What's
About
that?
how hopeful are you about this thawing out?
One thing I got to tell you is, and this is someone we want to talk about. We talk to people, therapists, about people being in their home and how tough that would be, and that's tough. But that's your home. That's known. I'm interested, Timmy, when whatever the new normal is, and people push out, that might be even more difficult to somehow now get situated in a kind of situation that is unknowable. You might be anxious about it. You might be fearful of it. There's going to be a lot of things that change. I think people are going to be working at home a lot more. Yes, we're going to be able to eat in restaurants, but are people actually going to do that?
Right.
I think there's going to be a lot. I don't think it's going to be this thing, not here anyways, where they just say, okay, go back, and everyone just is out in the street and it's New Orleans all of a sudden. I think it's going to be very slow and
Well, I think the 6-foot rule type of thing is going to go on for a long time. I think you're going to see, lines in the grocery store with people 6 feet apart.
yeah,
And I don't know what the restaurant deal is going to be. Working at 25% capacity.
yeah,
That's going to be weird. And if people are waiting and you're sitting there dawdling over your coffee, they're going to start,
yeah.
come on, drink and leave.
Are there things we did this in the 7 last week? There are actually things that develop because of this that we think were good things and that we're going to miss. One was, of course, the great cocktails to go, which I don't know why that hasn't always been part of our life. But I also like the fact that people actually, this thing really showed us we really kind of fall down when it comes to cleanliness. Like actually washing your hands would be a good idea. One question we have here, Timmy, that we said we hope keeps up. Someone asked you, what do you think about the nightly fireworks? I imagine they're also talking about the celebrations. I'd like to see that continue. They want to know what you think about that.
Are they talking about the illegal ones that are going off all the time?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it bothers a lot of people. It doesn't bother me, but I can see how it PTSD thing, and just some people just don't like racket at all.
Yeah.
Um,
What are things that you would like to see continue that we've developed during this quarantine time?
I really enjoyed ordering food from restaurants. We've been eating at a lot of places that we, don't normally eat at. Don't ask me what, because they're all very pedestrian places. Uh, Offsite, CPK.
That sounds great.
Um,
I mean, I have to admit that there's a place by me where I go for breakfast. And I remember when this thing first started, thinking like, oh, I want to be great the day I can go there on a Saturday, have breakfast, see my neighbors, and that'd be great. But now I have to admit, even when it's opened up, we'll see. We'll see.
I don't know about the social, I don't. The loss of hugs wasn't a big deal for me,
Mm,
you know. But I think we have to, when it's okay to hug again, if that's
yeah.
ever the case, I think we have to kind of define who should hug who.
So, so if you were the hug czar,
Right.
what would be, how would you determine who is hug worthy?
Well, I mean, I'm just talking about myself. Like, I don't want certain people hugging me.
But you've never wanted certain people hugging you or
Correct.
anyone, right?
And I think with the new normal, you should be able to say, okay, there's got to be some way to let people know you don't want them hugging you.
Yeah, maybe some kind of thing here, like the I voted thing,
Or
but with
microchip,
like, don't hug me.
or a microchip.
Or
Um,
Bill Gates, get on that. But now see, we're exact opposite. I'm a huge hugger.
oh, I bet. I know.
In fact, I'm a huge touch guy, like big touch guy. Even like when I would do journalism, a lot of times I'll reach out and like hit people on the shoulder, something like that, to kind of, sometimes when you're interviewing people, you want to calm them down. Now that ain't going to happen. I'm not going to do that. Yeah, that's going to be a weird adjustment for me. I would
Hmm.
want, I'd want that kind of thing. What
You know,
else have you liked?
you'd be on my hug list. So
Oh, Timmy,
I
that's
know. Shut up.
can we have a moment? By the way, someone else said, thank you, Tim. Those fools are getting to me too. They don't even hear how ridiculous and selfish they sound. That's not actually a question,
Yeah,
but there you go. Someone's
Quana.
in your corner. Hey, one of our people here, Brandon, who works for the Business Journal, but we like to think of him as a member of the family. Kind of like who was the one who was adopted on Bonanza?
Hmm.
Was that Adam or was that Little Joe?
I gotta say, Little Joe.
Yeah, Little Joe. So he's kind of our Little Joe.
Right.
He gave you a bunch of music, right?
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
that was a good one, right?
Right. It was good. Manchester Orchestra on my playlist forever now.
Now, yeah, I've never listened to them. What are they like?
You know, rock and roll band. They're very.
Thank you.
They're kind of lush. They're from. I think I was adverse to them because I figured they were from England,
Right.
but they're not. They're from Georgia, so it's a Georgia band. A little bit more lush than the Georgia sound that you usually hear.
Oh, cool.
More instrumentals. Give them a try.
Okay, we've got another thing from our wonderful audience. They suggest if you don't want people to hug you, simply say lice. Sorry. They see Long Beach, you guys come through. Now, actually, a good question. You've been home a lot, so you've been watching your fair share of television, I imagine.
Mhm.
Anything that you came upon that you probably wouldn't have watched that you can recommend?
No, I think everything I watched, I would have watched anyhow. I'm not breaking new ground. You know, I'm watching the last part of Blacklist. Which
Okay.
I love James Slater. I don't like anybody
Yeah.
else. You know, they're all kind of lousy actors, but I love watching him. My wife tells me the last episode in the series, because of coronavirus and unable to get the crew together,
Yeah.
is animated. Have you heard that?
I have not heard that. That's awesome.
It is awesome, and I don't know if it's true or not. My wife doesn't know. You know. Yeah, so I'm going to check that out. I haven't made any big discoveries. I've been watching the usual stuff, you know.
What's some of the stuff that you watch? You know what I want to get back into? You ever have a show like you get into and then you stop for no reason? Killing
Like
Eve was that like that for me. I really like Killing Eve. And
Yeah,
I don't know why I stopped, but I did.
did you? Oh, you did? Stop.
Yeah, I stopped after about 2-3 episodes.
Oh.
I think maybe it was too intense for me. But I saw a little bit of it the other day. I was like, oh yeah, I love that. What's that show that you told me about that I love too? And again, I stopped after a couple episodes and the music was great.
Patriot Act?
Yes.
Yeah, I love that show.
Yeah. Tell the people about that. Where do they find that?
They find it on Netflix. They did 2 seasons and they canceled it, but I think it was an easy show to misunderstand, and I don't think they probably promoted it very well. The title of it makes it sound like a Tom Clancy
Right.
flick, you know, with crappy actors in it.
Yeah.
It had really good actors. That guy from Lost, you know, the old guy.
Yes.
His father.
Yeah.
But the protagonist tends to every once in a while sit down with his guitar and just kind of sing about what's going on very straightforwardly. It doesn't rhyme. It's not a song per se, but he just
Right.
And then Iran came, and then I got in trouble with them, and it's really cool. I really enjoyed it.
He suggested it to me, and when I watched it, it was fantastic. And again, for some reason, I stopped. I know why I stopped. It's this weird. I don't know if you ever go through this. I had to stop watching The Sopranos, Breaking Bad. You get to a certain age, and there's enough stuff going on that's really enough kind of stress in your life, and you're like, and that's why I end up watching like cooking shows and house hunters. You know, I do like
Right.
Travel Man. Travel Man is great too. Yeah, that's a good one.
But you're right.
You know what I saw the other day, Timmy, and it made me feel so just like I don't know, I'd wasted my talent. So maybe I shouldn't recommend this. It's called "The Center Will Not Hold," and it's a documentary about Joan Didion. And I didn't know this. It was done by Griffin Dunn, who I didn't know is her nephew.
Dominic's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Dominic's son, and Dominic was her husband's brother.
Right.
And it's a fantastic documentary about Didion and frankly, a type of journalism which I don't know even exists anymore. You know what I mean? The kind of long form kind of thing where you can actually make a living doing that, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Uh, I had the opportunity to a couple times to interview John Donne uh, at his house while Joan was fidgeting in the kitchen doing something or other. I
Yeah, no kidding.
talked to her, but Dominic was, yeah, during OJ, his reporting for the Vanity Fair was spectacular.
Oh, yeah.
I remember, I was at the trial and I was behind Dominic and at the metal detector. He took out about